This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
"6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The Supreme Court will take the petition submitted challenging the proposed Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill for hearing today. The Education Ministry announces that all schools will commence for the second term today. A special party leaders meeting today. Sri Lanka reports 260 new COVID cases. Minister Professor G.L. Piri says the Port City Bill is more transparent than the GCEC Act. The Colombo Port City to muster $15 billion in FDIs in the next 5 years. 52 killed, 669 injured on the roads from April 13th. A special traffic plan for the St. Anthony's Church service. In news overseas, Australia opens travel bubble with New Zealand. In sports, Delhi Capitals won the match against Punjab Kings by 6 wickets yesterday. The Colombo Port City project will help to elevate Sri Lanka from an average $1.5 billion per year FDI attracting destination to a $15 billion FDI yielding destination in the next 5 years, says the State Minister of Money, Capital Markets and State Enterprise Reforms, Ajit Niwad Cabral, at a special press conference. The minister said that to do this, Sri Lanka has to offer something attractive to the investors, and to formulate this, the government tabled a gazette on March 23rd to formulate the Colombo Port City Economic Commission. The bill aims to provide for a special economic zone, to establish a commission to grant registrations, licenses, authorizations and other approvals to operate a business in such economic zones. The minister further stated that the people are asking the government to make Sri Lanka another Singapore, and the Colombo Port City will be the key to take the country to that level as well. Multiple petitions have been filed in the Supreme Court last week against this proposed legislation on the Colombo Port City, and depending on the outcome, the government would change the laws if required. Meanwhile, the Colombo Port City has been gazetted as a land belonging to Sri Lanka, and all its activities are being carried out in accordance with the laws of the country, State Finance, Capital Markets and Public Enterprise Reform State Minister Ajit Niwad Cabral told the chief incumbents of the Malvathu and Asgiriya chapters in Kandy yesterday. The State Minister Cabral visited the Asgiriya and Malvatte Mahaviharas yesterday morning on the instructions of the President and the Prime Minister, and briefed both the Mahanayaka Theros on the functions related to the port city. State Minister Lohan Ratwatte and MP Vasantayapa Bandara accompanied the State Minister. The Education Ministry announces that all schools will commence for the second term today. Accordingly, arrangements have been made to recommence schools today in accordance with the health guidelines mentioned in the circular, which was implemented during the first school term. Meanwhile, the Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Professor Kapila Pereira, says students can attend classes daily if the number of students per classroom is less than 15, while classrooms with 16 to 31 students must be segregated and brought in as two groups. Mr. Pereira added, if the number of students is higher than 31, they should be segregated to three groups for academic activities to be conducted at least thrice a week. He stated, this system will remain in place until changes are implemented by the Director General of Health Services. The Secretary to the Northern Provincial Education Ministry says that the government and semi-government schools in the Jaffna district will also reopen today and function under strict health guidelines. All the relevant officials and the principals have been instructed to conduct classes under medical guidelines. A total of 260 more persons tested positive for COVID-19 in Sri Lanka yesterday as the confirmed cases count reached 96,699. Meanwhile, the recoveries count recorded in the country is currently at 93,113. According to statistics, 2,825 active cases are still under medical care at the designated hospitals and treatment centres. Sri Lanka has also witnessed 617 fatalities due to the outbreak of the pandemic. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
Education Minister Professor G.L. Pires yesterday said that those who are filing petitions in the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of the Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill have forgotten the Greater Colombo Economic Commission Act, GCEC, which was passed in Parliament in 1978. He said the Greater Colombo Economic Commission Bill, adopted in Parliament in 1978, exempted usual tax laws of the country, such as the Inland Revenue Act and the Foreign Exchange Act. The minister said that a number of groups, including the Samagi Jana Balavegya and the United National Party, are involved in disinformation campaigns over the bill without any basis. The Education Minister was speaking to the media yesterday after calling on the Most Venerable Ithapane Dhammalankara Thera at the Sri Dharmavijaya Loka Mahaviharya in Pannipitiya yesterday. The minister, during the meeting, had made the Thera aware of the current situation of the country. Meanwhile, it is reported that the Supreme Court will take the petition submitted challenging the proposed Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill for hearing today. Despite the heavy toll of the COVID-19 pandemic on Sri Lanka's economy and the lives of its people, the economy will recover in 2021, though challenges remain, says the latest World Bank Sri Lanka Development Update, Economic and Poverty Impact of COVID-19. The SLDU notes that the country, hit with an unprecedented economic downturn due to the pandemic, is now on the road to recovery. Sri Lanka's economic growth is expected to recover to 3.4% in 2021, mainly due to foreign investments as well as normalizing tourism and other economic activities. However, the slow global recovery, coupled with continued trade restrictions, economic scarring from the slowdown, and the high debt burden, may continue to affect growth. 52 persons have been killed and 669 persons have been injured in road accidents from the 13th of April to yesterday, the police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana states. DIG Rohana stated that 399 road accidents were reported during this period. He also added that according to statistics, around 10 persons have been killed within a day due to road accidents. He said 2,242 vehicles have been taken into possession on the driver's charges of drunk driving and road traffic accidents. Of them, 1,429 motorcycles, 552 three-wheelers, 128 cars, 38 lorries, 30 vans, 28 dual-purpose vehicles, 22 cabs, 12 buses and 2 foot cycles and 1 container were involved in the accident. A special traffic plan will be implemented for 2 days in parallel to the service to be held at the Kochikade St. Anthony's Church, the police headquarters states. The service will be held from 4 p.m. on April 20th to 12 noon on the 21st of April. The Police Media Division, issuing a statement, said that the special traffic plan will be in effect as a large number of people are expected to visit the church during that period. That's local news.
Darling, our daughter has top O-level results. Do you know what this means?
Yes, just 3 years and she'll be going abroad for her degree.
For which we'll need a bank loan.
But is a normal loan the smartest option?
What else?
The smartest way is to start an HDFC Smart Goals account.
Let your child begin their degree with no delays. Start an HDFC Smart Goals account. Call 2356 888.
Honey, you're so smart.
HDFC Smart Goals. All it takes is 3 years.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
A special meeting of government party leaders is scheduled to be held under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Temple Trees today. According to government sources, a number of issues are expected to be discussed at this meeting, including the controversial Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill. It was reported that May Day meetings and the Provincial Council Elections Act are also to be discussed at the meeting.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Watchlight, the commuters complain that long-distance buses are not available after 8 p.m. Only a few buses are available for some select destinations. This has caused immense difficulties to the commuters travelling from the city limits to the outside districts. This is for the attention of the Western Province Passenger Transport Authority.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this Urdu season. People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news headlines, Australia opens travel bubble with New Zealand. France kidnapping, girl found with mother accused of ordering abduction. Russia expels Czech diplomats over explosion row. Australian and New Zealand residents can travel freely between the two countries for the first time in more than a year after a travel bubble opened effective from today. The long-awaited initiative removes the need for visitors to quarantine. Both countries have contained COVID outbreaks and kept infection rates low in large parts due to hard borders. Excited passengers crowded Australian airports ahead of reunions with family and friends. An 8-year-old girl who was kidnapped in eastern France on Tuesday has been found with her mother in Switzerland, officials say. The girl was in good health after being found in an abandoned factory in the border village of Saint-Croix. French prosecutor François Perrin said her mother Lola Montamagui was taken into Swiss police custody. Officials say she ordered the abduction of the girl, of whom she no longer had custody, from her grandmother's home. Russia has announced that 20 diplomats from the Czech Republic will be expelled from the country. The Czech Republic expelled 18 Russian diplomats on Saturday. Czech local intelligence agents claim the diplomats are Russian intelligence operatives. They are suspected of involvement in an explosion at an arms depot in 2014. European Union foreign ministers are set to discuss the claims about the blast during a meeting today. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Australia opens travel bubble with New Zealand. France kidnapping, girl found with mother accused of ordering abduction. Russia expels Czech diplomats over explosion row. That was world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this Urdu season, People's Leasing Polybasi. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this Urdu season. Call 011-206-300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
And now in development news, the increase in exports to the pre-pandemic levels, the notable increase in workers' remittances and the relative stability in the domestic foreign exchange market supported Sri Lanka's external sector in February 2021. In the financial account, both foreign investment in the government securities market and the Colombo Stock Exchange recorded net outflows in February 2021. The SARC finance swap facility of $400 million obtained from the Reserve Bank of India in July 2020 was repaid in February 2021 upon maturity. That was development news, and now in sports news in cricket. Delhi Capitals won a match against Punjab Kings by 6 wickets yesterday. In another IPL match played yesterday in Mumbai, Punjab Kings won the toss and elected to bat first. Accordingly, Punjab Kings made 195 for 4 in 20 overs. In reply, Delhi Capitals reached the victory target in the 19th over, losing only 4 wickets. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Lanka Special Steel Limited, Lanka SSL, a fully owned subsidiary of EB Creasy and Company PLC, was recently awarded the coveted National Gold Award under the extra large category in the manufacturing sector as the Annual Achiever Awards 2020 for Industrial Excellence.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic News. Courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
There has been a slight relaxation to controls on the repatriation of export proceeds into Sri Lanka set out earlier by the Monetary Board. The Monetary Board, having considered the requests made by exporters of goods, has amended the Gazette. The new Gazette will look to reduce the percentage of the mandatory conversion requirement of export proceeds of goods into Sri Lankan rupees from 25% to 10% and to extend the number of days given to exporters to convert the export proceeds of goods into Sri Lankan rupees as required from 14 days to 30 days, provided, however, that such a date of conversion shall not be a date later than 180 days from the date of shipment.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says thunder showers will occur at several places in the central, Uva and southern provinces after 2 p.m. today. A few showers may occur in the western province and in the Gala and Mathura districts during the morning. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize the damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during the thunder showers. This weather report was issued this morning at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The Supreme Court will take the petition submitted challenging the proposed Colombo Port City Economic Commission bill for hearing today. The Education Ministry announces that all schools will commence for the second term today. A special party leaders meeting today. Sri Lanka reports 260 new COVID cases. Minister Professor G.L. Pires says the Port City Bill is more transparent than the GCEC Act. The Colombo Port City to muster $15 billion in FDIs in the next 5 years. 52 killed, 669 injured on the roads from April 13th. A special traffic plan for the St. Anthony's Church service. In news overseas, Australia opens travel bubble with New Zealand. In sports, Delhi Capitals won the match against Punjab Kings by 6 wickets yesterday. That concludes this news broadcast.